All right, fellow mech warriors, we've got an incoming question here, and admittedly, I'm not the best to answer this question. It's not that I'm not capable of showing restraint, but I tend to be a button masher. If you're in range, I'm going to take that shot. I'm not the best at heat management. And we've talked about heat management in more detail. I've pushed that up to my Battletech playlist on the channel. That's kind of the foundation here. And then we're going to turn things over in the comments to you guys, my fellow mech warriors, for those young bloods, those neophytes, those new players to the game. And this is really an exciting time to be in Battletech, I have to say. With the release of the 2 core starter sets, we've got some maps, we've got support. Catalyst, before we even get into the Kickstarter, when that drops, it's going to be absolute space madness. But the level of support that Catalyst has been pushing out there is really amazing. So the question was, Fritz, how many weapons do you fire a turn? And in stating this question, the person didn't ask in the comments on my blog, what type of mech are we talking about? You know, there's a big difference between a light mech and an assault mech. So the primary consideration of how many weapons should you fire a turn is heat. If you're piloting a mech of any weight class and you're not going to build any heat at all, I'm piloting a Stinger or a Cicada or a Grasshopper, and I'm not going to generate. Those are 3 bug mechs just randomly picked here. I'm visualizing mechs on the tabletop from my last game. I was playing those mechs. And if you can fire without generating heat, take the shot. Why not? You need 12s to hit. You need 10s to hit. It's long range. They're in cover. Their mech is partially obscured. So 1/3 of the damage chart, even if you hit, is going to be negated. No loss. Take the shot, even if it's utilizing ammo. Unless you're at the end of the decision tree on a multi-pronged campaign, you probably have enough ammo. Take the shot. When in doubt, take the shot. Because in all the years I've been wargaming, if the one thing I've learned, when you roll the dice, crazy things happen. Crazy things happen. So take the shot. But if it's going to cost you heat and it's going to build heat, now we got to kind of make these calculations in the moment. For me, the question of pushing the heat, we see this, and I'm going to crunch the heat chart a little bit, but essentially it starts building and then it starts dealing negative modifiers to movement, to shooting. Then we possibly have some ammo, some shutdowns, then some possible ammo explosions that we have to bypass, then more modifiers, then a bigger shutdown, then more ammo, and essentially you go so high that it just catastrophically explodes. And you can only clear so much heat a turn stock. You can clear a little bit more if there's water. You can clear less if you've got some heat sink damage. There's also some later tech, double heat sinks and other ways. Heck, maybe you even have a coolant truck on the table. But it's pretty fixed, and you can pretty much control. You can calculate your heat. For me, how big is the map? What are we playing on? A lot of games on a single hex map, it's designed that way where, yes, you have long-range shooting. Yes, you can have your longbow or your rifleman in the back. But with that, you're going to be able to close really fast. I'm not going to be able to backpedal and shoot long range, keep you at long range. If you really want to close, you're going to close. So the smaller the map compared to, say, a traditional wargaming table that's out there, what we see is you can't push the heat as much. So in firing all the weapons, if it's going to start building heat, I need to calculate and say, okay, roughly if they continue to advance, if they're on top of me in 2 turns, I don't want to be pushing heat where I'm probably not going to hit. I'd rather save the heat to push at a shorter range when I have an increased probability of hitting. And the other kind of qualifier is when we're at short range, and now I'm in range to everything, do we have an open critical spot or not? If there's an open critical spot, then I will push the heat a lot more, and I will look to fire even weapons like machine guns and other things that don't necessarily develop heat versus higher damage weapons that do develop heat. Because if I'm crit seeking, I just need to hit that spot. Doesn't matter if it's with an autocannon 20, although that might blow you in half, or a machine gun. There's a chance for the crit to be a crit on there. So that's kind of the working question for me. But again, I mean, that's tactically if I am advising you as a mech warrior who has survived many mech campaigns. If we're fellow lance mates, I'm a little bit crazy there, shooting everything I can when I can. That's not to say I don't have trigger control, but it's hard to do with my play style.